in things not going exactly the way you want them to go, there is further, stronger, more specific, in this moment, clarification that is taking place. When we say to you, are you happy with unfulfilled desire? We want you to say yes. And the reason that we want you to say yes is because we want you to have remembered that in the asking for something, even before it happens, even before it manifests, in the asking for it, there is the summoning of energy, which is what life is. So if we are oriented to focus in order to get things done, then that would explain the rat race we tend to put ourselves on. But when we are oriented toward deciphering from the contrast ideas that are meaningful to us, and sending forth our rockets of desire, and then working to line up with the rockets of desire that we have launched, with the intent of finding our balance in the joyful emotion that we're always reaching for. In other words, when our joy is our quest, rather than our growth being our quest, then everything falls into alignment, because we never get it done. We never get it done. So what is the big hurry? We never get it done. So you may want to start recognizing that your life is about now. In other words, Esther was aware that the meeting next door was going to linger a little bit, and that you were going to get a late start today. And she had already decided that she was going to relax into it and let it be whatever it be, because at this point of manifestation, it's like we tease all of you. You say, Abraham, I've jumped out of an airplane. I'm at 40,000 feet. I have no parachute. What should I do? And we say, hang on, it will be over soon. There's a certain inevitability that you just sort of have to go with once manifestation has ensued, before you begin recognizing and making new decisions. When things go that far, the momentum of law of attraction and the momentum of the energies is going to make it whatever it is. And so when you stand in a moment that does not please you, it is very prudent if you decide that you're going to relax and make the best of whatever this moment is, because you can't go back and redirect the energies that have manifested into the culmination that you are now living. And what we notice with so many is that rather than completely lining up with your desire in the moment, there is a lot of regretting and worrying and what should have been done differently. This workshop we are calling, lovingly, The Art of Allowing. And in that title is the vibrational essence of everything we want you to remember. Because the Art of Allowing says, you are worthy, you are good, and there is a future experience that we like to call your vibrational escrow that is full of pleasing things for you. And when in the moment you relax and do your best to feel the best you can from where you are, then you put yourself in the place where you allow yourself the receiving of this wonderful stuff that you want and that you deserve, and that all of your past experiences have helped to launch into your immediate and not so immediate future. In other words, everything that you've ever lived has caused you to contribute to your creative process. And from where we stand, what's out there is wonderful, and we expect that as it unfolds in your experience, you will be delighted with it. The impatience that we feel from you is mostly about your recognition that it might be out there, but it is not here yet. And your impatience about what you desire not yet being here. And we want you to make a decision while we are all here together today, that while there are definitely things that you would rather be different than they are, that you're not going to use the difference between how they are being and how you prefer them to be to use as the club that you beat yourself over the head with anymore. Instead, you're going to begin saying, I do my best to make the best of where I stand, because, friends, you cannot be other than where you stand. You can't suck back what is, but you can make a decision that you will make the best of what is, and in doing so, you have the recipe for an increasingly improving experience. You have an emotional guidance system within you, wonderful emotions that let you know everything that you need to know about your relationship with your source energy. In fact, that's what your emotional guidance system is. It's about your relationship with source energy. The emotions that you feel tell you two things: how much source energy you're summoning through the power of your focused desire right now, and of that energy that you're summoning, how well aligned with it you are. Now, you understand alignment when you think about cell phones or radios or satellite dishes. In other words, you know that if there is a transmitter that is transmitting a signal, that you must get your tuner receiver on the same frequency in order to have a satisfying experience. And the same thing is true between you and who you really are. In other words, there's a signal that's being beamed from your source, but if you are choosing thoughts that keep you out of alignment with it, then the signal is weakened and you do not receive as clear a connection, in which case you do not thrive to your intended thriving. You do not thrive in the way that you could, or in the way that you planned on when you made the decision to come forth into these bodies. So the emotions that you feel are your indication about this connection, and we really want you to be clear about that, because unless you are clear about what your emotions are, then you might misuse them, you might misunderstand them, or worst of all, you might ignore them. You might just sloppily think thoughts on all subjects, flooding your thoughts into all kinds of arenas, activating all kinds of vibration for yourself, and not be aware of what you're doing. And that is not what a deliberate creator does. A deliberate creator pays attention to the thoughts they're thinking by way of the way the thoughts feel when they think them. We really don't want you to monitor thoughts, but we really think that it is of value for you to be aware of the way the thought feels, because if you will be aware of the way the thought feels, then you can be aware of your connection to your source. Then you can be aware of your point of attraction. Are you beginning to understand that this is an electronic universe, that it is more about vibration than anything else? And that everything that you see is a translation of vibration. What you hear is a translation of vibration. Even what you smell and taste and touch, these are all vibrational interpreters that make your world real in the way you see it or smell it or hear it or taste it or touch it. So when you realize that your emotions are another decipherer of energy, then you begin to understand that your emotions can tell you everything you need to know about this connection and about your relationship with your own desires. So let's talk about the sliding scale, and we really want you to realize that it is a sliding scale, a vibrational scale of resistance all the way into allowance. And do you know what we mean by that? Allowing your connection to source or disallowing. Now that's too strong of a word, because you can never disallow your connection to source. But you can choose thoughts that are enough off the beat of what your inner being or source energy knows that you can hold yourself vibrationally out of sync with the signal of well-being. Of course, when you make your physical transition in that which you call death into the non-physical, you reemerge back into that pure positive energy and your connection becomes complete again. But we would like you to maintain your connection before you croak. It's ever so much more meaningful if while you are physically focused, you can be in vibrational alignment with who you really are. So the emotional scale that we are talking about goes all the way from despair or depression, all the way up to what you would call ecstasy or passion. And of course, there are many words that you can use to describe the emotions or the states of being along the way. But we would like to point out to you here that all of those different stopping points, you might have emotional set points depending upon different subjects or different relationships. You might feel hopeful about dollars and you might feel in despair about relationships, or you might feel worried about your body while you feel hopeful or appreciative of money. In other words, different subjects you feel different ways about. So you have different emotional or vibrational set points because you've practiced different thoughts. When you think a thought, you activate within yourself the vibration of that thought. And if you approach that thought often enough, then that often activated vibration becomes so familiar in your vibration that it becomes a dominant activated vibration. Once something is a dominant vibration within you, you call it a belief. And we would like to point out to you that a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. That's all a belief is. You can believe things that serve you and you can believe things that don't serve you, but until you are aware of your own guidance system, you might be giving a lot of attention to things just because someone says to you, well, it's true, you should give your attention to it. And we say, knowing what we know about law of attraction and knowing what we know about why things manifest in your lives, knowing what we know about why things are true to you, that the only reason that something is true is because you've given it your attention and you've activated in your vibration and you've done it often enough that you created a vibrational alignment with it, and then law of attraction matched that vibration with the reality. So when you say, Abraham, I have to give my attention to this unwanted thing because it's true, we say, think about what you're saying. You're saying somebody out there, for whatever reason, gave their attention to this thing they did not want, and did it often enough, they activated it in their vibration long enough that they manifested it, and because they've done that, you should too. And we say to you, we would be a little more picky than that if we were standing in your physical shoes. We would be particular about what we give our attention to. Because what you give your attention to is what you activate in your vibration, and what you activate in your vibration becomes your point of attraction, and what is your point of attraction eventually becomes manifestation. Now, we talk to you about this not just because we're wanting you to rein in the manifestations that please you and head off the manifestations that don't please you. Manifestation is a big part of this physical life experience. But we say this to you also because we want you to be aware of how you are feeling moment by moment, because right now while you're feeling is your life. In other words, it's all about right now. It's not about later when the manifestation's coming. It's right now while you're thinking about the manifestation coming or not coming. In other words, now is now. Think about the power of now. It's all right now. Isn't it right now? Here we are. We are in Texas. In New York, it is an hour later. In California, it is 2 hours earlier, but it's still now. On the other side of the world, it's not even daylight, but it's still now. In the non-physical realm, we don't even have clocks or calendars, but it is still now, you see. It's now. Now is where the juncture between you and you meet. Now, right now. And how you feel now matters. When we talk about now, we are not saying only think about what's right now. This room is rather limited. We're not encouraging you to only think about podium, rug, microphone, Jerry. In other words, we're not asking you to only think about what's in your now surroundings. We are saying to you that in your now, whether you think about the past or whether you think about the present or whether you think about the future, as you're doing it now, you are activating a vibration which jives with who you really are or doesn't, which allows your alignment with your source or doesn't. And so when you begin to care about the way you feel, then you begin to tend to that connection between you and you. And that is everything. That is everything, because that is your lifeline. Better stated, that is your life. That's who you are, you see. So, when you make a decision that nothing's more important than that you feel good, now you are on the track. Now you're back in control of your own life experience, because you can tell by the way you feel what your vibrational countenance is. Joseph Campbell, one of your magnificent, physically focused teachers, said to you, in the best words that we have ever heard articulated from your physical human tongue, follow your bliss. And we say, if you would take that encouragement and you would work to follow your bliss, you would fulfill your reason for being, you would live happily ever after, you would connect with your source energy, you would be valuable to everyone who knows you, you would thrive in all manner. But then we have to say to you that if you are in despair and some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, fluffy student of Abraham or a student of well-being says to you, follow your bliss, you can't even get a whiff of bliss from depression or despair. The vibrational frequencies are so different. All they do is irritate you, don't they? They say, you create your own reality, and you think that can't be true or you'd be gone. I really don't need you here harassing me about how I should feel, because how I feel is how I feel. And what we're wanting to say to you is, yes, that's right. How you feel is how you feel. But you have more control over how you feel than you realize if you care about how you feel. If it really matters to you that you feel good, then you will make short work of anything that feels bad by reaching for better and better and better and better and better feeling thoughts.